we celebrate 25 years of ABC's Wide World of Sports. The special moments that shaped a quarter century of sports history. You'll see Mario Andretti, Pele, Peggy Fleming, Nadia Comaneci, Mark Spitz, Richard Petty, Mary Lou Retton, Joe Frazier, Kathy Rigby, Evel Knievel, Debbie Thomas, Scott Hamilton, Arnold Palmer, Dorothy Hamill, Jim Ryan, Minnesota Fats, Don Garland, Kurt Thomas, Vasily Alexiev, Olga Korbut, and Muhammad Ali. Join us as we celebrate with the sports legends of our time. And now, the host of ABC's Wide World of Sports for 25 years, Mr. Jim McKay.
There we go. Good evening. Thank you. Well, this will be a program about a television show that has lasted for 25 years as a continuing series. Now, that doesn't necessarily make it important, but any show that has endured that long has to reflect the world and the times through which it has lived in at least some way. To realize just how long 25 years is, think back. How old were you 25 years ago? Where were you? What were you doing? Well, that's when Wide World began. Sports at the spectator level, I think, has two basic functions: to entertain and occasionally to inspire. Both of those functions will be evident during the next 2 hours. We'll go back tonight, but not just for a chronological review from 1961 to 1986, although you'll see plenty of action from those years. But we'll go back to capture the mood and the feelings that we experienced during a quarter of a century spent in pursuit of the human drama of athletic competition. Now, we've had a chance to visit 49 countries and 47 states. We've observed firsthand the changing relationship between the United States and the People's Republic of China. We visited the Soviet Union from Khrushchev to Gorbachev. We've been to the Eiffel Tower, and we've been to the Matterhorn, to Big Ben, and to the Great Wall. In our pursuit of excellence, we've traveled the world.
You're on top of the world, above the Alps in Switzerland, looking down from a hovering helicopter as if suspended from a skyhook. Few men have ever seen this area as you are seeing it now, filmed as our cameraman's legs dangled in space out the side of the chopper.
This is Petaluma, California, a quiet town largely inhabited by people who have rejected what they see as the hubbub and the madness of urban life.
Paris in the spring is everything you've ever heard it to be. Sacré-Cœur and Montmartre.
You can't come here and not be affected by the scene and the remembrance of the horror of what took place here.
It's doubtful anyone in Finland worries much about haircuts and hairdos in February, where the prime fashion accessory is the hat.
This is America for me. Something totally new, something I haven't even imagined could be possible in motor racing. A new look totally.
St. Peter's Basilica dominates the Vatican, the tiny state in the northwest part of Rome.
It's the Harlem Globetrotters proving that Thomas Wolfe wasn't necessarily right, proving that you can go home again and like it.
The island is about the size of the state of Kentucky, but with only 1/20th of the population of the state of Kentucky.
In the Dutch or Afrikaans language of South Africa, there is a word pronounced apartheid, which simply means a policy to keep people of different races apart.
Good afternoon, I'm Jim McKay, and of course every American knows what the Grand National Steeplechase is. It's the race that Elizabeth Taylor won when she was 12 years old, you remember? They have made the annual pilgrimage to the tiny principality by the sea, to Monte Carlo, Monaco.
That's it, it's all over. The biggest upset in the history of Little League, Kirkland, Washington, defeating the boys from Taiwan.
Yes, we've been around the world, from the Matterhorn to Williamsport, from Paris to Petaluma. The year our journey began, 1961, was the same year that the Berlin Wall was built. As that ugly barrier went up, we started to cross other barriers.
Our first big trip was the U.S.-Soviet track and field meet in Moscow's Lenin Stadium. 2 years later, we returned. Among those watching were Nikita Khrushchev and Averil Harriman, as Valerie Brumel set a world high jump record on Wide World for the third year in a row. Since then, we have watched the U.S.-Soviet sports rivalry ebb and flow through the years. Regardless of the sport, it is still news when the two great powers lock horns. And almost always, both teams have shown a fine regard for sportsmanship.
Cuba today is a far cry from what it was before Fidel Castro, and nothing is a better example than Havana.
The reporter was Peter Jennings, and the event was an Olympic volleyball qualifying match between the U.S. and Cuba. Among those watching as Cuba won the match was Fidel Castro. This was Tiananmen Square in Beijing, China, 1965. Tens of thousands of Chinese shouting slogans in a Hate America rally. We were the first to interview the American table tennis players 6 years later by satellite when they came out of China. It was called Ping Pong Diplomacy. We beamed back their home movies of the trip. The relationship of the countries began to change. Then President Richard Nixon made his journey to China the following year. This time, gymnastics was the sport, and we beamed the occasion back to America. Sports, it seemed, had become the catalyst to serious diplomacy. Just a month and a half later, we were in Detroit to welcome a Chinese table tennis team on its precedent-breaking visit to America. China in Detroit, this was something new.
It's never happened before in the United States. A sports delegation from the People's Republic of China, Communist China, entering Cobo Arena.
There were signs of protest, to be sure, but there were also signs of welcome, and the table tennis was terrific.
Look at this.
The exit of the team sounded like an American college football game.
What an enthusiastic crowd. And here is an incongruity. The University of Michigan fight song, Hail to the Victors Valiant, being played while the communist Chinese flag flies in Detroit.
In May of 1973, Chinese gymnasts came to New York. This time there was an unscheduled example of Hands Across the Sea. When the tape of American Nancy Thies's music failed, the Chinese piano player came to her rescue. Bill Fleming reported.
Nancy Thies has had a problem with her recorded music. It will not work. And so, believe it or not, she's gone over to the Chinese pianist and said, would you play this music for me? She doesn't have any sheet music. Muriel Grossfeld is over there just saying, play something.
Bill, this is absolutely unprecedented. The piano player is just going to follow what Nancy does.
He's watching her.
A gal from Urbana and a man from Peking. All of a sudden, they've gotten together. Isn't that nice?
Joe Cha-Sheng, the accompanist, does get a standing ovation.
The odds were astronomical that Nancy Thies and the Chinese musician would ever meet in their lifetimes, but there they were, hugging on national TV. Whatever inspired me to do this, I don't know. But when we went to the People's Republic, I took it in my head to hit a golf ball over the Great Wall into history's most unplayable lie on the other side.
By George, I've done it.
In 1980, it was American figure skaters visiting China for the first time. By now, the U.S.-China relationship in sports was a solid one. When the Soviets boycotted the Los Angeles Olympics, the Chinese would attend. Soon after her arrival, Peggy Fleming gave a lesson to a young Chinese skater.
A good exercise to start in, of when your arm hits there, your leg should probably be in the same line.
The next time Peggy saw that girl, she was skating in the Winter Olympics. Chris Schenkel and Lisa Marie Allen rode quietly through the square where the anti-American rallies were held 15 years before. Linda Fradiani was among the U.S. skaters who performed on this trip. She learned that the Chinese athletes really seemed to mean their slogan, friendship first, competition second. And it was moments of communication like this between Linda and a little Chinese girl that prompted American Ambassador Leonard Woodcock to say the event was worth more than 10,000 political speeches. Well, politics is politics, and times do change. But your first taste of a lollipop is forever.
Gymnastics Little Darlings, Kathy, Olga, Nadia, and Mary Lou. This celebration of 25 years of ABC's Wide World of Sports is brought to you by Shearson Lehman Brothers, Minds Over Money. By Citizen, no other watch expresses time as beautifully. By John Deere and your local John Deere dealer. And by Budweiser, Beechwood Age for that clean, crisp taste. This Bud's for you.
Assignments for today.
Like many before, you came here asking for just one thing.
Sadowski. Shibolski.
A chance.
Pronounced Shibolski.
You're gonna make it here, 'cause you make America work, and this Bud's for you.
Here's to you, Beechwood Age for that clean, crisp taste
Hey, Sid.
that says Budweiser.
This Bud's for you.
The pessimist sees the glass as half empty. The optimist sees the glass as half full. We, however, see it as a way to quench your thirst, boil an egg, or make something grow. Seeing the possibilities is capitalism at its best, and why you'll never look at a glass of water quite the same again. Shearson Lehman Brothers. Minds over money.
To celebrate their new Philly beef and Swiss, Arby's is having a silver screen sweepstakes with over 11,000 prizes worth $1 million. Just answer a Trivial Pursuit question and you could win games. Don't mind if I do. Sony little TVs and big TVs. Have to come back for that one. And even this classic Gazelle. So enter Arby's Philly beef and Swiss silver screen sweepstakes. Now, where'd they hide the keys?
Not since the 1932 Olympics had an American male won a gold medal in an international gymnastics competition. And then out of Hollywood, Florida, by way of Indiana State University, along came Kurt Thomas. Kurt would change the sport in this country. He had that special flair. In fact, it came to be known as the Thomas Flair.
I believe the children are our future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. Show them all the beauty they possess inside. Give them a sense of pride to make it easier. Let the children's laughter.
Double back. Boy. Oh, he's laying it in. Now watch this as Thomas Flair on the floor.
You think they're paying attention in Terre Haute, Indiana?
The crowd loves him. Listen to the reaction. My God, Jim, if this kid comes home with a gold medal...
That's what it looks like right now, unless there's a big mistake.
He needs to hit a double twister. That's all he needs. Now nail it. Kurt Thomas! Maybe a gold medal. All right, America, you got him.
All right, America. America had him and still keeps him in their hearts. Kurt, if any athlete ever looked like he was on top of his game, it was you at that World Championship in Strasbourg. And yet, as we learned later, you almost didn't even make it to the arena.
Well, before the competition, I was feeling sort of sick. I felt like I had a sore throat and a cold and felt a little dizzy right from the beginning. And it's interesting because when I was getting ready to warm up, I was worried about one skill, a 1.5 twisting 1.5, which is a way of rolling out and you go into your head. And I was a little worried about it because I was feeling dizzy. And
it's a dangerous move.
Yeah. Right as Andrianov from the Soviet Union performed, he had a little error where he put his hands down on the mat. And for some reason, at that point, I knew I could win the competition. All of a sudden, my sickness was gone. I felt terrific, and I walked up and performed, and I knew what I had to do, and it happened.
It sure did. And then, of course, at the next year, at the World Championships in Fort Worth, you won 6 medals. Well, men's gymnastics has come a long way in the United States since 1978, all the way to the gold medal won by the American team at the 1984 Olympics in Los Angeles. And with us in the audience, an old colleague of yours and a member of that team, Bart Conner. Bart, good to see you. No question, the men dazzled the world in Los Angeles, but when we think of gymnastics, the names of several special young women always come to mind. The sport itself, of course, is as old as civilization.
The sport started with the ancient Greeks, of course, just men in those days performing naked with women forbidden even to watch. But by the turn of this century, both sexes were competing in a slow, graceful sport with little spectator appeal. Wide World discovered gymnastics in 1961 in a small gymnasium in Dallas. The stands were mostly empty, the performances seldom of world class in the U.S. National Championships. Scoring was primitive. But in 1970, we found the first of 4 young women who would forever change the face of the sport in this country. She was Kathy Rigby, a 17-year-old from Los Alamitos, California, a long way from home in Ljubljana, Yugoslavia. With this performance, she became the first American woman ever to win a medal in the World Championships. Later, she would have her problems, including a disappointing performance in the Olympics. But on that day, she moved America into the world gymnastics picture and gymnastics onto the American sports scene. It was, of course, a moment she'll never forget.
I don't think I'll ever forget standing up there on the platform, and it's something that I feel very honored about, and you know, it adds to the confidence later in life, I think.
Today, Kathy Rigby is an ABC sports commentator. She also has studied singing as seriously as she did gymnastics and is into a new career.
From the banks of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston, New York to LA, there's pride in every American heart, and it's time to stand and say that I'm proud to be in America, where at least I know I'm free.
Then came Olga, the kid with the crooked smile. She was an unknown Soviet substitute until she got her chance at the Munich Olympics. Olga Korbut at Munich moved the sport forward light years in just 30 seconds.
Back me right to the other bar.
Has that been done before by a girl?
Never, not by any human that I know of. Look at that. And she's second best, I don't believe it.
This, then, is a historic performance you're watching right now in gymnastics.
She's Kathy Rigby's size. Oh, my, wow!
She wowed the world, did Olga, particularly America. Wide World followed her across the country. She did have a way about her.
She's got a way about her. I don't know what it is, but I know that I can't live without her. She's got a way of pleasing. I don't know what it is, but there doesn't have to be a reason anyway. She's got a light around her, oh, and everywhere she goes, a million dreams of love surround her anyway.
While Olga was winning at Munich, a 10-year-old was honing her skills in a remote corner of Romania. Her name, Nadia Comaneci. Where Olga was smiling, Nadia was serious, a different personality altogether. But she touched the viewer, too. There seemed a sadness in her total dedication. Her coach, Bela Karolyi, remembers that very young Nadia.
My personal relation, it was more like a teacher and a student. Very specific indication, very specific execution. And she had the positives and the willingness to do it.
We found her first as a 13-year-old winning the European Championship and followed her all the way from there.
Incredible. Here's her last tumbling run. A double twist. Beautiful. Look at the height on that. Another handstand. Look at that. Right to the handstand. Gorgeous routine.
Looking much more like the old days of the Tins.
Yes, the confidence is there.
We followed her until her moving farewell to competition in Romania. What did her career mean to her?
I wanted to prove what beautiful things little girls and sportsmen in general can achieve. Gymnastics has been and will always be my great passion. It's my life.
We thought of them all on a first-name basis. Kathy, Olga, Nadia, and then Mary Lou.
Oh, boy.
Yes! She has done the best vault of her life. She knows what she's done now. Full twisting Sukahara.
Mary Lou's coach was the same Karoyi who guided Nadia to greatness. Los Angeles was the climax that made Mary Lou Retton a symbol of American youth and optimism. But we found her first at the American Cup in Madison Square Garden. Like Olga, she made the team because of an injury to a teammate. And she made the most of it.
Mary Lou Retton, coached by Bela Karolyi.
Pull in double back, beautifully done. This is the event where Mary Lou shines.
With a 9.85, she would clinch the victory.
Watch this. Whoa, a little bit flat, but she got it around. Sigh of relief there. She's home free now. Another tumbling run front. Round off side aerial. And that's it for Mary Lou. Big hopes for 1984.
Well, now look at that smile. He's excited. The crowd is excited.
What a fabulous meet for Mary Lou.
That 1983 American Cup was, I think, my breakthrough in gymnastics. I was actually going into the competition as an alternate, and one of my fellow teammates, Diane Durham, who was supposed to compete in the competition, she got injured, and I was pushed into the competition the day before. I mean, can you imagine? I was the underdog. No one knew who I was, didn't even know the name Mary Lou Retton. And I think that was what gave me the chance. I had nothing to lose. I went in, did my best. I think I had the best meet of my life.
Kathy and Olga, Nadia and Mary Lou, all of them proved that there can be a place for all of us, no matter how small. Nadia and Mary Lou, all of them proved that there can be a place for all of us, no matter how small.
How fast is too fast? Man tests the limits. Next, as the celebration continues, a quarter century of ABC's Wide World of Sports.
It's that time of year again, deer season. Just as the grass is getting higher, prices are getting lower on John Deere tractors, lawnmowers, tillers, chainsaws. In fact, all kinds of lawn and garden products are on sale at the lowest prices of the year. So hurry to your participating John Deere dealer. After all, it won't look so good if deer season passes you by. Nothing runs like a deer.
The stars are gonna twinkle and shine. How they'll shine this evening about 8:45. I know I won't be late. Oh, that 8:30. I'm gonna hurry there. I'll be waiting where
They say time is what you make it. At Citizen, we prefer making it beautiful.
about 8:45.
Citizen.
Last year, 378 major auto races, like the Indy 500, were won on Goodyear Racing Eagles. That's more than 9 times as many wins as all other makes of tires combined. And that proven Goodyear quality is why more people decide you either have Goodyear Eagles or you need them.
The hottest thing on television today is digital television.
Now, darling, I'm heading west and leaving you forever.
It lets you watch 2 channels at once, or TV and a videotape,
Why must you go and
or a
leave?
computer,
Is all the west worth breaking?
or a home security system.
I gotta go west, darling.
Many manufacturers have digital TV, but ITT pioneered it, and every set has ITT microchips.
That's beautiful.
The Disney Sunday Movie proudly presents an enchanting animated classic.
It's Robin Hood.
It's a magical tale of adventure for the entire family. The animal kingdom comes alive in the network television premiere of a Disney favorite, Robin Hood, tomorrow.
You may be seeing track history right here and now. He still has about 40 yards to go.
He's going to make it. He's going to run the first 4-minute mile.
It looks like he made it unofficially. 3:58.6. What did you get, Dick?
According to my watch, 3:59 flat. No doubt about it. Jim Brady has just run the first 4-minute mile indoors in history.
Speed is not an absolute. It is always comparative. Fast. But faster than what? How fast can man go before the limit is reached? There must be a limit. No one will run the mile in 1 minute, but perhaps in 3? One man's slow is another man's fast. For a dog sled, fast is a few miles an hour. To a fireman, fast is so many buckets a minute. To a horse, fast is how many lengths you left them behind. Ring Lardner said the America's Cup was like watching grass grow. But it's fast to a sailor. And when Australia won the Cup, it was world news. Speed can be achieved by an engine, or by muscles, or by skill and gravity, like Steve Mayer, brother of Phil, winning the giant slalom title in the 1982 World Alpine Championship.
Time to beat for Steve Mayer to take the lead is on the left. He does it! Steve Mayer's going to win a gold medal!
Speed through the water is difficult to achieve. Too much friction, an unnatural element for man. But Don Schollander broke barriers and was our Athlete of the Year in 1964. But how fast is fast? Schollander, some thought, had reached the limit. Not so. Mark Spitz, with his 7 Olympic gold medals, pushed that sport to new frontiers. The invisible barrier of the 4-minute mile was a thing of the past as Jim Ryan pushed the record closer and closer to the 3:50 mark in the 1960s. But by last year, Steve Cram was pushing toward 3:45 with this record run. How fast is fast?
He has a chance at the record. It's Cram lifting, Coe fading. Gonzalez in second and Cram closing on the record. And he's done it.
When fast becomes too fast, disaster can strike. Too fast is when you speed past your personal limit and burst through the envelope out of control. Too fast can also be caused by the machine, by a 10-cent part, or a $1 million engine, or by a piece of debris on the track, or by the wind. Too fast is terror. That terror happens in an instant in sports like drag racing. Don Prudhomme thought his opponent had been killed in this accident. It tore him apart. He wanted to quit.
I think I'm quit. Oh my God, I see that car go by me. I couldn't believe it. There was no back. There's no back section on it or nothing.
Driver Jim Nichols was okay, and Don Prudhomme did not quit the sport.
When a woman then known as Chacho Muldowney, although she hated the name, qualified for the national final, Big Daddy Don Garlett could hardly believe it.
Got him, but she blew. We got a long way. We got plenty of time. He's in the final. The lady dragster driver is in the final. That's right.
What do you think about going against the gal?
Well, I owe her one from Columbus.
Well, Big Daddy successfully defended his male domain that day, but Shirley Muldowney, who would become the only woman to beat males in a national sport, won his respect forevermore.
She's got further in drag racing right now than any woman ever has. I mean, you know, runner-up, you got to understand that that's a fantastic thing. This is the U.S. Nationals.
We all have had that dangerous dream of driving faster and faster on the open road. We know it's wrong, so most of us don't do it. Instead, we play make-believe by watching the stock car drivers of the NASCAR circuit. But even they can lose it, like Cale Yarborough at Darlington.
Well, if you're getting far enough up, and those boys are in trouble.
Oh, Yarborough right out of the racetrack.
How far did the car go, Cale?
Oh, I don't know. Must have went 200 yards.
And did you have any injuries at all?
No, none whatsoever. I was lucky.
Did they get the breath knocked out of you?
No, I was real lucky.
The race driver depends not only on himself and his car, but on the other guy in his car. A.J. Foyt was cruising to victory on the final lap at Indianapolis in 1967 when a race driver's nightmare happened in the final turn.
There's an accident on the front straightaway. 2, 3, 4 cars. Where's Foyt? I don't know whether he can get through or not. Hitting the wall. Bouncing back across the straightaway. Foyt's only got a couple hundred yards to go, but where is he? There he is. He's trying to get through. A.J. Foyt will win the Indianapolis 500 in an incredible, thrilling finish.
Recently, A.J. said he couldn't see, but drove through the crash as fast as he could, so that if he hit someone, he would drag him across the finish line and still win. Racing luck is needed. This was the greatest of stock car drivers, Richard Petty, at Darlington in 1970. Luck was with him. He wasn't hurt. But his greatest triumph came at the famous Daytona International Speedway. In all, Petty has won Daytona 7 times. They don't call him King Richard for nothing. His daddy drove at Daytona before him, and now his son Kyle races on the Grand National Circuit. In 1984, he was trying for a historic 200th win in the Firecracker 400 at Daytona. It was a day for ceremony. To give the traditional call to the drivers, the high-flying president took to the airwaves.
All right, gentlemen, start your engines.
Petty scored his 200th that day. As he won, the experts intoned their belief that no one would approach his record, but Richard knows that all records are made to be broken. Mario Andretti drove his first race car at age 12 in Italy. His family moved to America, and he became a young star at Indy, later an international celebrity. He won the Indianapolis 500 in 1969, but has been dogged by bad luck there ever since. Still, he remains the only Indy winner to be kissed not by the beauty queen, but by the car owner. Inside, his Italian boyhood dream still burned, to win the world championship on the Grand Prix circuit. Only one American, Phil Hill, had ever achieved that goal. In his native land in 1978, only he and teammate Ronnie Peterson had a chance to win the title. Which would it be? In 1961, it had been the same situation on the same track with Bill Hill and his teammate Count Von Trips. Trips was killed in the race, and Hill won a sad victory. Now it was déjà vu in a terrible way. On the start, a crash. Peterson was in it and would die overnight. Andretti went on to win the title, but the champagne was bitter, and the word victory had a hollow sound. So speed raises questions. How fast is fast? And how fast is too fast? And is fast worth the danger? Is fast really important after all? Some call the love of speed a death wish, but others say no, it's a wish to beat death. The drag racer, Don Garlits, told us 11 years ago that he might have had enough.
I'm 43. I've been in racing 25 years. I've made a lot of money. I've had a lot of friends. I've had a lot of good times. My family is pressuring me, you know. They say, you know, you've been doing it a long time and the chances are getting greater and greater that maybe you'll have a severe accident. I'll tell you, I'm going to give it some serious thought because, like I say, I'm 43 years old. I'll be 44 before the next season starts, and I'm really going to think about it this winter.
Well, Don has been thinking about it so seriously and so long that Don Garlits is still at it. This was done last month in Gainesville, Florida, 272.56 miles per hour, a new world record. Not bad for old Big Daddy. With us now is Big Daddy Don Garlits. Don, good to see you.
Glad to be here.
I have just one question for you. How long are you going to think about it seriously before you decide whether to quit or not?
I don't talk about that too much anymore. It seems like just take it a year at a time.
Okay, well, congratulations again on your new world record. Don Garlits. With us tonight, by the way, are a few more of the fastest people in the world. King Richard Petty. Mark Spitz. Stand up, Mark. Jim Beatty. Jim Ryan. Jim Ryan. Bill Mayer, the older brother of Steve by a few minutes, slalom gold medalist at the Sarajevo Winter Olympics. Tracy Calkins, three-time Olympic swimming gold medalist. And Calvin Smith, the world's fastest human, who set the men's 100-meter world record on ABC Sports in 1983. They all can really go.
Still to come, Arnold Palmer, Pele, Sugar Ray Leonard, Eric Heiden, Peggy Fleming, Evel Knievel, and Muhammad Ali. As the celebration continues, 25 years of ABC's Wide World of Sports.
Some people see the sunset as the end of the day. Others see it as the beginning of an evening. We, however, see it as the start of a new day in Hong Kong, Singapore, and Tokyo. Expanding the horizons is capitalism at its best, and why you'll never look at a sunset quite the same again. Shearson Lehman Brothers. Minds over money.
One world championship, 5 gold cups, 7 national titles. Miss Budweiser and the King of Beers, the winningest team in hydroplane racing. Racing fans, this Bud's for you.
Sunday, Clint Eastwood and his son Kyle. Living life on the edge. Fighting for a dream.
Gonna sing at the Grand Ole Opry?
An unforgettable network television premiere.
That's the life of a country singer.
Honky Tonk Man. Tomorrow.
Kelly asks, why settle for a good tire when you can get a great tire? And why settle for expensive when you can get a good deal? In fact, why settle at all? Get a good deal on a great tire with Kelly. Now, your Kelly dealer's good deal ends May 7th. He's got your tire. He's got your size. And he's got it on sale. Get Kelly and get your money's worth.
Kelly Tires, a good deal on a great tire.
What is it about Genesee beer that makes me think of the great outdoors? Well, it's pure. It's natural. And like the Bighorn sheep, Genesee knows you have to be really competitive to succeed. So Genesee goes all out to give you a premium taste. Genesee beer. Now that's the great outdoors in a glass.
And try Genesee Light. You won't believe it's a light beer.
It's a light beer, but it's a hearty beer. Somebody has finally found a way to make a good light beer. Genesee Light.
The Stanley Cup playoffs resume. Highlights at 11.
In the last 25 years, Wide World has been on hand for some of the most memorable moments in sports. Artist James Ridline, a former all-pro safety with the Dallas Cowboys, has captured many of the moments in an assemblage. That's French for something that looks like this. An assemblage of Wide World of Sports artifacts. It's a work of art. As a matter of fact, soon will take its place in the Smithsonian Institution in Washington. Now, all of the objects that you see here were donated by the people involved. More than 700 were sent to the artist in all. Now, let's take a look. This is the actual silver medal that Kathy Rigby won at the World Gymnastics Championships in 1970. She gave that to us. This helmet belonged to A.J. Foyt, the only 4-time winner of the Indianapolis 500. These jumping skis here were worn during the fall we've come to know as the agony of defeat. Pete Penseers rode this bicycle to victory in the 1984 race across America. And finally, this cap, worn by world driving champion Jackie Stewart during the week of the 1973 Monaco Grand Prix, which he won. Jackie Stewart, a great driver, a special friend, and how he drew the crowds.
We have marveled at the athletes, but we have also looked with fascination at the crowds of the world. Tens of thousands of individuals reacting as a single unit, sometimes with cheers of adulation, at other times with ugliness, but always trying to communicate with the man or woman on the field. To some athletes, the message is special. The crowd cries of admiration, yes, but more than that, of love. These are the heroes. Like Jackie Stewart, the wee Scot won more Grand Prix races than any driver in history. A poor kid who drove his way to riches and walked with kings and queens, but kept the common touch. Like Dan Gable, the most determined of all the athletes we've seen, he overcame family tragedy to win all his high school and college matches, 181 in all, only to lose his last collegiate match. He went on to an Olympic gold medal. And since, we have watched the Iowa teams of Coach Dan Gable win 9 straight NCAA titles, and we saw him coach the U.S. Olympic team to 7 gold medals. There was Wilma Rudolph, Wonderful Wilma they called her, the sickly child who became an Olympic champion and a world figure. More than that, she made your skin tingle when she ran. Eric Heiden was the embodiment of clean-cut mid-America at its best, the shy but handsome hero skating to 5 Olympic gold medals in Lake Placid. Sugar Ray Leonard was another with the magic touch, an Olympic champion, then a world champion, smart enough to call it quits before it was too late. Donna De Verona. She was the teenage star of Wide World in the early 60s. Like the others, she had that extra human quality. And since, she has become a commentator and a leader in the women's sports movement in this country. And Scott Hamilton, the diminutive pride of Bowling Green, Ohio, who became a giant in his sport. He almost died of a rare disease in childhood, took up skating for therapy, and became Olympic champion and 4 times United States and world champion. In 1962, there already was a group of followers called Arnie's Army in the United States. But that year in Scotland, he won the hearts of the Scots, and a transatlantic love affair was born.
Arnold in the crowd and gulped just after he hit the ball. Neither Nagel nor Palmer are in sight right now. Here he comes. He made it. I hope that is a mock limp Palmer's putting on as he finally gets up to the 18th tree. Hello. And he made it. 2 great putts on the final hole as Arnold Palmer breaks the record for the British Open by 2 shots with a total of 276.
He was known simply as Pelé, the most famous athlete in the rest of the world for a long time. But in the twilight of his career, he made soccer flash briefly in the United States as a major sport. And then he said goodbye.
Please say to me, say with me, 3 times. Love. Love. And love. Thank you very much. Muito obrigado.
As a boy, he stole his father's old soccer socks, made them into a ball, and began to play the game. The poor boy from Brazil became the world's hero.
You know, it was Pelé who once said, "My greatest hope is that someday all mankind, like true sportsmen, will join hands and become brothers." World featherweight champion Barry McGuigan has been doing his part to join the hands of divided Ireland.
From glen to glen and down the mountainside, the summer's gone and
He fights for the whole lot of Ireland, not just Catholics or Protestants, the whole lot.
I think he's great, and it takes an Irishman to hold his title.
He's done a lot for peace, I think, in the country, trying to bring both parties together, and I think he'll achieve that.
The irony is clear. A man from the most violent of sports, bringing a message of peace. A father and a son urging their countrymen to live as brothers. From America or Brazil or Ireland, they can come from anywhere. The special one, the hero.
Coming up, how it all began, Wide World's first year, and the skating queens, including a visit with America's newest world champion.
Hey, neighbor. I'm looking at personal computers. You still like your Tandy 1000?
Sure, just like the one at the office. PC compatible, comes with its own software. But you'll never get a deal like I did.
Oh, yeah? Well, I just did. I got the Tandy 1000 for $9.99 at Radio Shack.
Wait, color monitor included?
Yeah, save $300.
Finished, sweetie? The wife and kids won't let you near it.
Yeah?
Got the same deal I did.
Well, then you better buy yourself another one.
Another one?
The Tandy 1000, color monitor included, only at Radio Shack.
Boys got what it takes. Full tilt, all out, whole wheat flakes. Nothing halfway, nothing sweet. Just a great big crunch of good whole wheat. Yeah, hey, banana, move aside. These big flakes got nothing to hide. Wheaties, Wheaties, good whole wheat. Now go tell your mama what the big boys eat.
To get a great-looking paint job, you can go and get fancy or get the new Wagner Power Painter. It puts down a flawless finish with its lifetime tip. Wagner does a better job. Not many have mastered the art of painting with a roller. Luckily, there's the Wagner Power Roller. It pumps paint right from can to wall. Wagner does a better job.
You missed a spot.
19 pro fights, 19 victories, 19 consecutive knockouts. The brightest young star in the heavyweight ranks, Mike Tyson, takes on veteran James Quick Tillis live. Plus, the wild excitement of the World Lumberjack Championships, along with the Kentucky Oaks Race for Fillies on ABC's Wide World of Sports. Next Saturday. It's all followed by America's classic horse race, the Run for the Roses, the Kentucky Derby on ABC Sports.
Wide World of Sports began for me right here, beside the practice putting green at the Augusta National Golf Club. I was working as anchorman for CBS coverage of the 1961 Masters Tournament when somebody came by and said that I was being paged in the clubhouse, that there was a phone call for me from someone at ABC in New York. Well, as a result of that phone call, I've never been back here since. This is the first time in 25 years, and yet the whole place, and particularly the old clubhouse, one of the most remarkable and memorable landmarks in all of sport, still looks pretty much the same. Well, after the guy told me about the phone call, I went inside and returned it. Two men were on the phone. Roone Arledge, whom I didn't know at the time, and Chet Simmons, with whom I had worked from time to time. They said they were checking the availability of several people for a potential summer replacement series that would cover a number of sports, some of them new to television. Was I interested? I said yes. I recall that Roone then said that he thought he should tell me it would involve a good deal of travel. That has turned out to be true, to the tune, I think, of something like 6 million miles now. On the opening sequence of the program, we showed a number of athletes in action, as we do today. This, however, was the skiing shot we used. It was some weeks before somebody pointed out to us that the skier was in the snowplow position, something one learns in about the second week of ski instruction. As I said, thankfully, we've learned a lot since then. There was a near thing as to whether Wide World would finish its first summer. The ratings were bad and not getting better. There was talk of yanking us from the schedule. Then we went to Moscow for the U.S.-Soviet track and field meet. In those days, even a private citizen traveling to Russia was very unusual. Originating an entire television program from there had never been done. We took 20 tons of equipment and more than 25 technicians. The attention we got from that unprecedented move kept us on the air and convinced the network we should get a chance as a regularly scheduled program starting the next January. It's beginning to look like steady work. We were a curiosity in Moscow, of course, but what made the biggest hit with the crowd in Lenin Stadium was videotape itself. The Soviets didn't have such a thing in 1961. In fact, our technicians were instructed to take the tape heads, the most important part of the equipment, to the American Embassy for storage every night. They were, in their own way, top secret. In the stadium, our machines were set up on one of the spectator ramps. When some of the crowd saw earlier events being played back on our monitors, they were dazzled. Soon there were hundreds of them straining for a look at the monitors, turning their backs on the live event. They were the first Russians ever to see an event on videotape. The first summer, it still stands out in memory, clearly as your first date or your wedding day or the first time you saw your children. It was truly once in a lifetime.
Well, since then, hundreds have contributed to the program, but 4 must be mentioned. Dennis Lewin, now the Senior Vice President of ABC Sports, but for 15 years, the coordinating producer of Wide World. Before him, Jim Spence filled that job for 5 years. Chuck Howard was a production assistant on the very first show, and since has produced major events around the world. And of course, the man who was executive producer from day one for a quarter of a century, the man who molded and guided the show, now the group president of ABC News and Sports, Roone Arledge.
Wide World of Sports at its finest is major events. Debbie Thomas and the ladies figure skating just recently had that same feel that we felt in Prague when we first watched major figure skating. But when you have the race across America and you have endurance competition, you know better than anyone that when we first started, no one covered decathlons, no one covered marathons, no one covered gymnastics or cycling or any of the sports that have become very popular today. And you watch today's younger producers dealing with something like the race across America, and your life kind of goes in front of you again. You see us at the 24 Hours of Le Mans trying to put it into perspective for people, except that they do a better job on it now than we did then. But the essence is still the same.
Well, thanks for calling me up in Augusta. It's beginning to look like steady work.
It's beginning to look like you may make something of yourself.
The stars are gonna twinkle and shine. How they'll shine this evening about 9:15. I know I won't be late, cause at 8:30 I'm gonna hurry there. I'll be waiting where
They say time is what you make it. At Citizen, we prefer making it beautiful.
about 8:45.
Citizen.
Everybody who builds trucks likes to talk tough, but only one talks tough and proves it. Dodge. Dodge been behind every one of these truck parts for 5 years or 50,000 miles. Now, how many parts does Chevy and Ford back for the same amount of time? Sure, the others talk tough. Dodge proves it.
Get 6/8 financing or $1,000 cash on Ram Chargers and full-size vans and wagons.
They were asking for trouble when they asked me to test ride Monroe's gas Magnum shocks on my pickup. Truck's only a couple years old, it rides fine. I only break half a dozen eggs a day. But I gotta tell you, with the gas Magnums, my truck rode a lot better. But I still broke an egg. See that little crack right there? See?
Save during the Monroe Best Ride sale, plus get a $6 cashback bonus on every pair of gas Magnum shocks you buy.
You begin with raw steel. Shape it with fire, muscle, and sweat. Polish it to razor-sharp perfection. We're looking for a few good men with a medal to be Marines.
Ladies and gentlemen, the legendary Willie Mosconi and Minnesota Bats.
Good luck. Gentlemen, it's good to see you.
Glad to be here.
Bats, I don't know what it feels like to be a legend, but you are one.
Everybody in here is a legend.
Everybody here?
Some never find themselves.
Yeah? Real legend?
Every living creature on earth can do something great.
More about that in a minute. Willie, it's good to see you. You never change in appearance, in your skill, or in your reputation as one of the real gentlemen of the sport. How many times, by the way, did you guys play on Wide World of Sports?
I think we were on for about 6 years. I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, in a row, I think.
Yes,
Who won those matches? You guys?
What's the difference who won them?
He knows.
won't tell you. Anybody plays me for cash, they get broke. On television, Mickey Mouse can beat me. I play governors, kings, queens, maharajas. I don't never try to beat one. Zsa Zsa Gabor beat me. You think I'm going to beat Zsa Zsa Gabor?
What?
And that's the truth, Jim. She did beat him on the television.
Yeah.
She did beat him.
And she'll beat me the next time, too.
How about a trick shot?
All right.
I know it's not your special.
I'll let him do the first one, right, Jim?
Yeah, why not, Willie?
Okay.
I'm going to make the 1, 2, and the 3. I'm going to make the yellow ball first over here, the blue ball next over there, and the cue ball will go 3 cushion and kick the 3 in.
And son of a gun. What do you have here, Willie?
I have a 4-ball shot, Jim. I'm going to try to make this ball in the side pocket. That's the 4-ball. Orange ball there, the green ball here, and the maroon ball over there, I hope.
Better you than me.
No, all
One
four
of the
of them with a
greatest
one
players
shot.
in the world, he's going to try to do it.
What do you say? And there we go. Hey, terrific. Yes. Just in case any of you have forgotten or didn't know, of course, Minnesota Fats is the man after whom the Jackie Gleason character in the great movie The Hustler was fashioned. And Willie Moscone was the technical advisor on that picture and was the man who taught Paul Newman how to make all those trick shots. Great to have you both with us, and thank you for coming.
Thank you.
By the way, I have to say one thing. I have never been compared to Paul Newman in any way, which might surprise you, I think, but I have been known to hustle a little pool myself.
You got trouble. You got trouble right here in Johnson City. Why, sure, I'm a billiard player. Always mighty proud. I'm always mighty proud to say it. I consider that the hours I spend with a cue in my hand are golden. Help me cultivate horse sense and a cool head and a keen eye. Did you ever take and try to figure out an ironclad lead for yourself from a 3-rail billiard shot? But just as I say, it takes judgment, brains, and maturity to score in a balk-line game, but I say that any boob can take and shove a ball in a pocket. Now, friends, let me tell you what I mean. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pockets at a table.
With a team!
Easy. Simple. Anytime. Okay. Now, one rule of thumb we've observed is that the sport may be little known, but it must be legitimate, not contrived, and important to the people who participate. Nonetheless, I must say some of them have looked a little bit odd, like demolition derbies, rattlesnake competitions, even an Air Force rocketry event.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Launch it.
Looks like a good firing.
Great shot. Looks good.
Splash! Perfect hit.
Give 'em the old razzle-dazzle. Razzle-dazzle 'em.
Well, there you got him right there. That's just right. See, that's not a bad little snake, is he? I just think that's going to be all right. I wish that prize snake could have been in there, though. Hey, he's not a bad snake. That'll make pretty good steak.
Give 'em an act with lots of flash in it, and the reaction will be passionate.
And as I said earlier, this is nothing for you children watching to try and your next door neighbor.
Give 'em the old hocus pocus, bead and feather 'em.
The fellow on the right is nicknamed Orange Juice because he had to give up drinking sake.
How can they see with sequins in their eyes? What if your hinges all are rusting? What if, in fact, you're just disgusting?
They're sick. They're definitely sick. Just like I think anybody that enters it's sick.
Razzle-dazzle.
One thing I would like to know, though, you're the only one in the contest that's flying with one ski instead of two. Now, how about telling us why?
Well, I guess it just gives me less to worry about.
And they'll never catch wise.
Got a little squirrely and just blew it.
Behold, razzle, dazzle, razzle, dazzle, back since the days of old Methuselah, everyone loves the big Methuselah. Give 'em the old three-ring circus, Sun and Stagger.
That finger means many things in different parts of the world. In cricket, it means you got to lead, right?
That's right.
When you're in trouble, go into your dance. Though you are stiffer than a girl, they let you get away with murder.
That's no kidding.
Razzle, dazzle, and you got a romance.
It's awesome. I like when he switches cars.
Long as you keep them way off balance, how can they stop? You got no talent.
Razzle dazzle.
Razzle dazzle.
I noticed your car is painted black. Why is that?
Because a black color goes faster.
How can a black color go faster?
Black absorbs the heat more than the lighter color, and so if it absorbs the heat, it makes the air around it hotter, and hot air is thinner than colder, so it just goes faster.
Razzle dazzle up, and they'll take you
In a moment, skating's loveliest figures.
When you wish upon a star, makes no difference who you are. Anything your heart desires will come to you. If your heart is in your dream.
A sports update brought to you by Volkswagen. Now from ABC News in New York, Stephen Gear.
Good evening. Pro basketball's playoffs began their second phase today, the conference semifinals. The Houston Rockets jumped to a one-game advantage over the Denver Nuggets. 7-foot Akeem Olajuwon was the difference. He scored 38 points and grabbed 16 rebounds. In baseball today, the New York Mets won their 8th in a row, but the Yankees, going for their 7th straight, were edged by the Indians. Now this.
I told my brother I just bought the best-selling European import in America, and he said, "You bought a BMW?" I said, "No." "You bought a Mercedes?" I said, "No." "You bought a Volvo?" I said, "No." He said, "A Saab?" I said, "No."
1 week before the Kentucky Derby, the Derby trial featured 13 horses that probably will not run for the Roses. Still, the winner's Savings looked impressive, winning the mile race by 6 lengths. More later on the ABC News Weekend Report.
Kryptonite bike locks available at bike stores everywhere.
Nature's full of remarkable things. One of them is the premium taste of Genesee beer. Another's the size of the humpback whale. He can weigh 40 tons. Boy, that's big. And so is the value you get when you buy Genesee beer. One taste will tell you Genesee beer is the great outdoors in a glass.
And try Genesee Light. You won't believe it's a light beer.
Is it really? Is it really a light beer? Light or not light, this is an excellent beer. Genny Light's great.
Tonight, how to cut out the chemicals in Lake Ontario fish.
The celebration continues. A quarter century of ABC's Wide World of Sports.
So much has happened in 25 years of Wide World of Sports that preparing this show was really a painful process, deciding what to put in and what to leave out. One sport we couldn't forget, of course, was figure skating. You know, Dick Button was the first human being ever to do a triple jump. These days, women do 5 or 6 in a program. However, like Lindbergh, Dick will always be first. He's now our expert commentator for figure skating. In fact, he's been with us longer than any of our other experts since 1962, and he's also with us tonight. My friend Dick Button. There he is. All he did was win gold medals at the 1948 and 1952 Winter Olympics, and Dick really started a tradition of excellence in American figure skating. After his victories, the U.S. men and women swept the Olympic gold in 1956 and 1960. But in 1961, just weeks before Wide World went on the air for the first time, tragedy struck the United States team. All 18 members were killed in a plane crash while on their way to the World Championships. It was a sad day in the world of sports.
But American figure skating began to rise from the ashes of that plane crash in a dark, chilly arena in Cleveland in 1964. Peggy Fleming, a 15-year-old, brought a new grace and elegance as she won the U.S. National Championship. That was 22 years ago. Today, Peggy, wife and mother, still skates, if not in competition, still with the elegance of old. She achieved, and she inspired a whole generation of young American women to follow her. Janet Lynn. Linda Fratiani. Elaine Zayak. Rosalind Sumner. Most prominent of all was Dorothy Hamill, who would become the over-the-rainbow girl of the 1976 Olympics. She first came to the world scene in 1972 when she finished 7th in these World Championships. Two years later, she was one of the favorites in the World Championships in Munich, but a bizarre happening almost cost her that opportunity.
While we were away, a West German girl from Munich skated, gave quite a good performance. She got tremendous marks, 5.7s and 5.8s, and has moved up to 3rd in the competition of those who have skated so far. But the crowd didn't think those marks were good enough, and they've been booing and whistling, which is European derision. Dorothy Hamill is really shaken by it, and it looked to us like she was crying, and still is. It's a really tough break for the American girl trying for a world championship. And I would have to say a bad performance on the part of the crowd. Just a miserable thing for people to do to a competitor. Now, they were going to give her a rest period, but she says, no, I'm going to go out and do it, and I am going to do it now.
That's what it means by being an up and down girl. This girl is up when the pressure is on, and that's why she will probably now skate one of the best performances of her career.
And now the crowd is cheering.
Let's see what she can do.
Look at the smile on her face. She's back up again. She's out of that depression, and she's on the top of the world already.
First jump could be important.
Here it is, a delayed axel. Good girl. Next move is a double axel. There it is. Good one. Now she's smiling.
She sure got
From tears one moment to a smile the next.
Dorothy took a silver medal in Munich, then of course went on to become a world and Olympic champion. Like Peggy before her, she skates on here in a professional championship on Wide World just a few months ago. From Peggy to Dorothy, and now to Debbie Thomas. She has carried a heavy burden for an American teenager, the first black woman to achieve single skating prominence, her lessons a financial problem at home. She herself a top student who aspires to be a physician. In addition, there were those who claimed that she choked on the great occasion, despite real potential talent. But in 1985, despite a fall, which you will see, she rose to 2nd place in the U.S. Championships, and they wondered if she might make it after all.
She had trouble with that in that warm-up.
Well, she has made it all right. This was Debbie stunning the crowd at the U.S. Championships this year with her new poise. She had worked long and hard for this, while also carrying a full load as a pre-med student at Stanford University. She went on to win the World Championship in Switzerland. When you wish upon a star and work very hard while you wish, your dream may come true, even if no one like you has ever done it before.
Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, there's a land that I heard of once in a lullaby. Somewhere over the rainbow, skies are blue, and the dreams that you dare to dream really do come true. If happy little bluebirds fly beyond the rainbow, why, oh, why can't I?
And now, from her dormitory at Stanford University, the 1986 World Figure Skating Champion, Debbie Thomas. Debbie, you're back at Stanford carrying a full load as a pre-med student. How in the world do you do it? Training, performing, and studying?
It's been really difficult. It's also been exciting, and I've had a really good time. It's hard getting back now, trying to get back into the swing of things, but I've done what I've gone out to accomplish, and it feels really good.
I should think so. What about the Olympics? Are you going to carry that full load right through 1988?
I think I'll carry the load through my first quarter of my junior year and then sit out to train for the Olympics and also take the time off that's needed when you go over to the Olympics before you have to compete. I don't think it'd be fair to me to try to stay in school during that time. And then I may also go on to skate professionally for a couple of years after that. But I do plan on coming back and finishing everything and going on to medical school.
Well, congratulations, Debbie. You sure deserve it. The 1986 World Figure Skating Champ, Debbie Thomas. And now, the lady who inspired them all, Peggy Fleming.
Still to come, Evel Knievel, plus the story behind the agony of defeat, and the greatest of all time, Muhammad Ali, when Wide World of Sport's 25th anniversary celebration continues.
It should live up to its heritage. It should outshine all others. And most of all, a light beer should be every bit as great as its namesake. That's why there's Bud Light, the light beer with the first name and taste. Everything else is just a light.
Some copiers don't adjust for exposure. Some don't adjust for odd size originals. Some give you copies after they've run out of toner. But the Sharp SF8200 Zoom copier automatically adjusts for exposure, paper size, and it turns off when it's out of toner. The Sharp SF8200 Zoom copier. It won't turn your work into garbage. From Sharp minds come Sharp products.
The pessimist sees the glass as half empty. The optimist sees the glass as half full. We, however, see it as a way to quench your thirst, boil an egg, or make something grow. Seeing the possibilities is capitalism at its best, and why you'll never look at a glass of water quite the same again. Shearson Lehman Brothers. Mind wins over money.
North and South, last year's most watched miniseries. Starting Sunday, May 4th, the tradition continues. This year, America's story is North and South, Book 2.
All endings are not happy ones in the world of sports. Along with the thrills of victory, there are the spills of defeat. There are tumbles and stumbles. The best laid plans somehow gang agley. In 25 years, Wide World of Sports has been there for the crashes and the splashes, for those unplanned moments when the quest for victory suddenly ends in the agony of defeat.
Well, all's well that ends well, and sometimes all's well that doesn't seem to end well. They call that serendipity, I believe, and one example of that is engraved in our minds.
We've visited Yugoslavia many times through the years and have come to know its people as warm and friendly. We've been to their big cities and to their smaller ones, like Lescha in the northern part of the country. This is a working class town, not a place to find celebrities. The people here are factory workers. They work in places like the Slovenian Ironworks, where they make anchor chain, link after link. But within these walls works a man who's a prophet without honor in his own country, unknown except to his friends, but a familiar figure to most of the population of another land far away. He rides his forklift in true socialist anonymity. Do you know this man? Probably not. He doesn't even have a credit card to flash. But in 1970, he was a ski jumper, representing his country at the International Ski Flying Championship in West Germany. Bud Palmer and Art Devlin were there.
Now we go to Vinko Bogatas, the Yugoslavian, the youngster. He's inexperienced. He fell on his first jump.
A lot of speed in that track. Now, look out! Look at him go! Oh! Oh, baby.
What a terrible fall.
As the crowd gathered around the fallen jumper, it was no joke. But it had a happy ending. His injuries were only a few bruises and a slight concussion. After an overnight stay in the hospital, he lived to jump again, but never with the daring that he had before. So now, he's just a face in the crowd in Yugoslavia. He has a hobby, in his case, painting. As you can see, Vinko is no beginner. He draws his inspiration from the countryside of his native land. And he has hopes and ambitions for his family. Right now, he's living with his in-laws while he builds a new house for himself and his family, which will have a special room to display his paintings. But to you who watch each week, he will forever be the agony of defeat.
And now joining us all the way from Lescha, Yugoslavia, a man made famous by accident, Vinko Bogatas.
Wonderful to see you. Standing ovation. Another standing ovation. Terrific. You know, okay. You know, everywhere I go, whether it's walking through an airport or after a speech, whatever, the first question I always get is, whatever happened to the ski jumper? Is he alive? Vinko Bogatas lives, is alive and well, and visiting in New York. As you can see, Vinko, welcome to America.
Thank you. I'm very glad to be here with you, Jim, with everybody in the studio, and with America and Americans watching ABC. I wish a happy anniversary to Wide World of Sports. Sve najbolje in živjeli.
Thank you, Vinko. That is a sportsman, and there's a lot more to come, including the daredevil and the endurance athlete.
In a moment, the Daredevils.
In 1985, the winning cars of the most prestigious auto races were equipped with Goodyear Racing Eagles. So it's small wonder that in 1986, most of the finest high-performance street cars are equipped with Goodyear Eagles. You either have Goodyear Eagles or you need them.
Burger King presents a Croissant to go.
It's a breakfast to go, Joe. You can eat it anywhere, Claire. It's crispy and light. You'll love each bite, so have a croissant to go.
Burger King presents a light, flaky croissant with real eggs and cheese and your choice of ham, sausage, or bacon. You get your pick, Rick.
The taste is Best West. You can have it on your way, Ray. Come to Burger King, the very first thing, and have a croissant to go.
A croissant to go at Burger King. Hurry, it's going fast.
Look, there's a woman playing. That's Laura Nelson, head of their sales department. That makes her a ball player? That makes her part of the team. She's really on the ball. But can she hit one? She told me about these IBM computers she installed, called System 36s. Strike one. I told you. They come in different sizes for most any kind of business. She put IBM personal computers on everyone's desk, tied them into the System 36, and the place is running smooth as silk. Strike two. She can check inventories, track deliveries. Can she keep track of the ball? She made the most of IBM's computers and software. And she made the most of that pitch. It's a double. It's a triple. It's beginner's luck.
The Daredevil Act is as old as the county fair or the small-time traveling carnival. There always, it seems, is somebody who is willing to risk his very life to make a buck, usually a very small buck. The Daredevil proves nothing and inspires no one, but spectators wonder what life is like on the thin edge, and so they pay to watch and identify. The men who climbed the Eiffel Tower in 1964 were experienced mountaineers, actually. They claimed the risk was minimal. The last thing these men do will be to hang out over the city of Paris with their backs literally facing the street and surmount the final overhang. That will be the most difficult part of the climb. Using only the rivet heads for footholds, they made their way up the northwest pillar. They paused at each level for a snack where the Englishmen drank water, the French drank wine. Finally, they were up and over, and it was champagne time. George Willig gained notoriety by climbing New York's World Trade Center. Later at Angel's Landing in Zion National Park, he nearly met disaster. Bill Fleming was there.
Oh, my God. George, are you all right? Yep.
You okay, George?
Yep. You sure? Yep. Just knocked the wind out of me.
He still made it to the top. After walking a rope between the towers of the World Trade Center, Philippe Petit spanned the towers of a French cathedral and told us why he did it.
I love to climb, I love to live my life, and here in the middle of that quiet, you really feel that you live, because you are carrying your life from one side to another. To feel myself living, that's the main thing.
Name your stunt, and remarkably, you can find someone to try it. In many cases, all it takes is a willingness to chance your existence. But a very few in the daredevil trade have had the additional ability to publicize themselves, to build up their act like the flim-flam man of old or the man who runs the shell game. The master of daredevil hype in our time was a man who became a national figure by changing his first name, announcing that he would jump the Grand Canyon on a motorcycle and breaking a great many bones.
My name is Evel Knievel. I'm a professional daredevil.
Knievel's boast that he would jump the Grand Canyon on a motorcycle never came to pass, but he finally did in 1974 attempt to cross the Snake River Canyon in Idaho on a device called a sky cycle. It looked something like a motorcycle, but was rocket propelled. Evel succeeded in drawing a crowd and in making the event one of the so-called happenings of the 1970s. But he was not to succeed.
Okay, Evel,
No, stay with the bird. Stay with the bird. It looks like you're going to go into the canyon.
It's going to crash, obviously, into the river.
It is okay, though. She's coming down about 17 feet per second. Slowly going down.
Just cleared the rocks, Benko. It looks like he is in the water. Evel Knievel is standing in the boat and waving. He is alive and well. Good shot.
Evel's career would be downhill from there, but he kept at it for a while. In 1975, he drew a big crowd to London's Wembley Stadium. It seemed he never had enough.
When you do what I do for a living, you have to have a positive mental attitude. And if that positive mental attitude doesn't work when you make that jump, you have to be man enough to handle the circumstances. And in my case, I'm man enough.
Let's get the stretcher. Let me get off the ramp. Please help me walk off the ramp. Frank, take me off. I got you, buddy. Whatever you want. You got it.
Stadium rise and give that man of the best that you will all do. Let's hear it all around the stadium.
No, out. You're out, pal. I want to walk in. I walked in. I want to walk out. You're right.
After recovering from a broken pelvis and other multiple fractures, Evel was successful in his last jump. He cleared 14 buses at Kings Island, Ohio. He then retired to a safer career as an artist, but the daredevil is still in him. He says he plans to jump again this fall. Ladies and gentlemen, Evel Knievel.
Some people see the sunset as the end of the day. Others see it as the beginning of an evening. We, however, see it as the start of a new day in Hong Kong, Singapore, and Tokyo. Expanding the horizons is capitalism at its best, and why you'll never look at a sunset quite the same again. Shearson Lehman Brothers. Minds over money.
Give me a light. Bud Light.
If you just ask for a light beer...
Hey, can I have a light?
Whoa! You never know what you'll get.
Give me a light. Bud Light.
So if you want the less filling light beer with the first name and taste, don't just ask for a light beer.
Give me a light.
Ask them to bring out their best.
Bud Light.
Bud Light. Because everything else is just a light.
This is my favorite place to be, the great outdoors. And Genesee beer is part of it. You know, the loon can only survive in an environment that is pure, clean, and natural. And those words are perfect to describe the premium taste of Genesee beer. With Genesee beer, you've got the great outdoors in a glass.
And try Genesee Light. You won't believe it's a light beer.
I couldn't believe that this was a light beer. Of all the light beers I've tried, I really have to say that Genny Light is the best.
96 WCMF, the home of rock and roll. The best of the old, the best of the new. The legend continues. WCMF rocks Rochester. An American original. 96 WCMF.
Some problems with a common lawn pesticide, the story tonight.
The celebration continues. A quarter century of ABC's wide world of sports.
To succeed in the sports world, you must have more than physical talent. In 25 years, we've seen that you must also win the games of the mind.
The great athletes always have known what they must do. Stretch themselves to their absolute limit, but not beyond. That's the trick. In the decade of the 80s, the me generation, the self-improvement era, tens of thousands of Americans have taken to the roads and waters in endurance events. It's an inspiring sight. But are these part-time athletes going too far? Do they know where their limits are? Often your body tells you. An injury says stop, but the athlete goes on, like Len Chalmers, playing with a broken leg on that long-ago day in 1961.
Young right halfback, McClintock. Oh, that was a bad tackle, and Chalmers could be badly hurt as it is. The game's going on. The referee hasn't seen how badly he's hurt, but that could be a broken leg.
Oh, he's in pain, this boy.
He's really in agony. This, I think, is going to be a very bad injury, and it looks as if this is the Wembley jinx all over again.
The injury occurred in the first half, but Chalmers played on for almost an hour more with a broken leg. If the body is prepared, has been specifically shaped and designed to the task, the accomplishment can be monumental.
No man, living or dead, has ever been recorded to have lifted this weight. You see the weight on the scoreboard, 245 and a half. All right, all right.
World record number 72 for Vasily Alexeyev. And still on this occasion, no smile. The most serious we've ever seen him. 72 world records. The great athlete and the neophyte alike must conquer one great intangible, fear, the demons of the mind that say quit. But how do you know when it's just fear or a real warning signal? To a pro like Jonathan Boyer in the race across America, it's a simple case of will.
If you have enough willpower and you want something bad enough, you can get your body to do anything. Anything.
In the days and nights that Boyer endures, willpower, strength of character, if you will, can be more important than anything else. But there is another thing that goes beyond willpower. You can't breed for it or train for it. You can't see it or touch it or measure it on a scale. It is simply called heart. A special insulin pump was designed for this triathlete so he could compete. And an artificial limb filled a void for this man. Julie Moss summed up the meaning of heart in these moments at the end of the 1982 Ironman triathlon. After a 2.5-mile swim and a 112-mile bike race, she was within yards of finishing the marathon and winning the event when the body began to overwhelm the heart. She had exceeded her personal limits. Neither the head nor the heart was in charge anymore. Diana Nyad and Jim Lampley were there.
When you push beyond your physical threshold, you may lose control of some voluntary muscles like your thighs. You may also lose control of some involuntary muscles, like your bladder and your bowels. But she still didn't quit.
On the ground, Julie Moss looked at the finish line from 10 yards away. Diana Nyad waited, expecting to interview the winner. There was one more surprise.
Kathleen McCartney passed Julie and won with a great effort of her own. The body and its warning signals had taken over, but the mind and heart of Julie Moss would not give in. If she couldn't walk, she would crawl, reaching the finish with her last small store of energy, finishing the course. Yes, it takes the body, the will, the heart. And as usual, the poet said it best.
With us is a former athlete and a former sports announcer who sometime later made a change of careers. Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States.
Thank you, Jim. I'm familiar with the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat. There are some days when I feel a little like that fellow who falls off the ski jump every week. It's a pleasure to congratulate ABC's Wide World of Sports on your 25 years of outstanding leadership. You have brought us the constant variety of sport, and the program has inspired many to become participants rather than merely spectators. You were the first in your league to visit the Soviet Union and the People's Republic of China. By spanning the globe, your program has not only brought excitement into our homes, it's enhanced the spirit of international understanding, reaching across cultural, social, and even political barriers, all in the spirit of sportsmanship. Our nation and the world have benefited from ABC's Wide World of Sports, and I want to wish you the happiest of anniversaries. Thank you, and God bless you all.
Up next, the greatest of all time.
I am the king of the world! Hold it, hold it, hold it. Hold it, you're not crazy. I'm a bad man! I shook up the world!
The stars are gonna twinkle and shine. How they'll shine this evening about 9:15. I know I won't be late, cause at 8:30 I'm gonna hurry there. I'll be waiting where.
They say time is what you make it. At Citizen, we prefer making it beautiful.
About 8:45.
Citizen.
Before you settle for basic transportation, how'd you like to own a car like this? Fuel injected, overhead cam, 5-speed, 4-wheel independent suspension. This is the all-new 1987 Nissan Sentra Sport Coupe. Bye-bye basics. Hello, Sentra. The name is Nissan, America's #1 selling import car.
Presenting 5 incredible things you can do with a new John Deere lawn tractor. You can cut grass more evenly with our new mowing deck. You can get rid of rainwater with our new tip seat. And ride more quietly because we've enclosed the engine. You can even carry heavier loads because we've added more horsepower. But the most incredible thing you can do with a new John Deere tractor is take one home because we've lowered the price. Isn't that incredible?
You watch the footwork, you watch the way they move, the duck, the height, the skill, the class, the speed, and you'll bear witness that I'm the greatest fighter of all times! All times!
A foggy day in London town.
His career covered the world, and our program covered it with him. He has appeared on Wide World more often than any other person, 63 times in all. He was a great athlete, but it was his manner that drew the world's attention. He was unpredictable. Before his first championship fight against Sonny Liston, some thought he had lost his grip.
Sonny Liston whooped me, I'll kiss his feet in the rain. I'm out of the ring on my knees, tell him he's the greatest, and catch the next jet out of the country.
As a fighter, I think he should be locked up for impersonating a fighter.
But that night in Miami changed the course of boxing for 2 decades. The young Cassius Clay beat the supposedly impregnable Liston and immediately changed his name to Muhammad Ali.
I am the king of the world. Hold it. Hold it. You're not that crazy. I'm a bad man. Wait. I shook up the world.
No sooner had he become believable than that belief was shaken in the return bout with Liston. Many on the scene claimed that the so-called phantom punch never touched Sonny, but Ali was still the champ. He was young, he was good, he was handsome, he was quick and graceful. They came to wonder as he trained, hoping that he would give them a poem, as before the Floyd-Patterson fight.
Floyd swings to the left. Floyd swings to the right. Look at the kid carry the fight. Floyd keeps backing, but there's not enough room. It's a matter of time. There Ali lowers the boom. Now Ali lands to the right. What a beautiful swing. And the punch lifts Floyd clean out of the ring.
It looked like Ali could have knocked out Patterson at will, but instead he seemed to torment him, carrying him for long rounds before applying the final blow. It was a sad night. 1966 may have been his greatest year. 6 times Wide World televised his bouts, including one live from England against Brian London. This was the Ali one would like to remember, a champion at the height of his powers. The Ali shuffle, as entertaining as watching a ballet. The opponents just that, opponents. For long years, his career was closely intertwined with that of Howard Cosell.
Are you taking Zora Foley too lightly?
Why would you say that?
Because every indication has been that you're confident that you can beat Zora.
I'm confident I can whoop all of them. This ain't nothing new. My image has been confident. What you trying to make it look like something new for? I'm always confident I can whoop all of them.
You're being extremely truculent.
Whatever truculent means, if that's good, I'm that.
He always had a new idea. He even challenged the great basketball player Wilt Chamberlain to fight him for his title. Yes, he did.
And after you, I want all the basketball players out there, football players, they want me beat so bad, they want to get everybody. I'll go to Mars, I don't care. I don't care if it was 10 feet tall, I'll whip you.
You're right. I think Hoover said, a boy named Tom Hoover said you might be going to Mars sooner than you think.
You, Tom Hoover, all of you. Me and Bill Russell getting ready for
Gentlemen, I must
and
break
cut
it.
that beard off because I'm not fighting Billy Goats.
I want to give you a target. I want to give you a target.
But then the glory and the clowning stopped. A different Ali appeared, a sober-faced man refusing to enter the service on religious grounds as a disciple of Elijah Muhammad. He was stripped of his title, but he would not fight in Vietnam, no matter what.
Whatever the punishment, whatever the persecution is for standing up for my religious beliefs, even if it means facing machine gun fire that day, I will face it before denouncing Elijah Muhammad and the religion of Islam. I'm ready to die.
I would like to hear.
He couldn't fight, but he could still talk. He went to the college campuses.
Who's the heavyweight champion of the world? One more time, we don't want no excuses. They may say the film was bad or the camera was broke. One more time, who's the champ of the world?
They should have been the 3 greatest and most profitable years of his career, but he was not allowed to fight. In time, he was vindicated by a unanimous decision of the U.S. Supreme Court. In time, he returned to the battle. But it somehow wasn't the same Ali. At first, he seemed just rusty. He beat Jerry Quarry, then took on Argentina's Oscar Bonavena. Howard Cosell called it.
Oh, that left! Floored him! It came from nowhere! Ali came through with a left! The crowd screaming, the first knockdown of the fight, he puts the mandatory 8, and now Ali is behaving like the old Ali. One more knockdown in this round, the fight is automatically over. Bonavena is running. If he goes down again, it's over.
He fought Joe Frazier, and in the 15th round, Ali was floored. Another telltale sign, Joe Frazier won the fight and retained the title. A more serious sign of his fading skills came in San Diego. The opponent, Ken Norton. He hurt Ali badly.
Ali is really tired. He was just laughing at a party last night, joking. Now, good right fight. That right hurt Muhammad Ali. That right hurt Ali.
Then came the dramatic turnaround. He traveled to Zaire to fight champion George Foreman in the middle of the African night. He was a heavy underdog. This was the 8th round.
Ali now taking advantage as Foreman's head was bent, and quickly a combination. A right finally sending up, Foreman down. This is almost incredible. Foreman down. He seems able to get up. He's getting word from his corner. He is up. Too late. It's over.
He had become only the second man in history to regain the heavyweight championship. Who said they never come back? One of the most savage and courageous battles in the history of boxing came in the Philippines. The Thrilla in Manila, as Ali called it, was exactly that.
There's Ali actually showing the mouthpiece went from the right leg. The mouthpiece went. You saw it fly out. Ali is now really giving it to Frazier. Frazier's in trouble. Less than 10 seconds. An overwhelming round for Muhammad Ali. But Frazier still on his feet. Still on his feet. Frazier saying no. First saying, I can't see. I can't see. That's what he told Eddie Futch. Futch over him. Futch doesn't want the fighter to go on. Look at Ali getting ready to go out. Now he realizes Frazier will not come out. Muhammad Ali is still the heavyweight champion of the world.
But there now had been just too many fights, it seemed. Too many blows to the head, a part of the body not meant to be hit. Here, against Jimmy Young in 1976, he looked overweight, out of shape. The Ali shuffled, slowed to a walk. He reduced himself to the carnival level by taking on a pro wrestler in an embarrassing exhibition. Anything to promote the next fight. In 1978, he lost his title to the awkward Leon Spinks, but he wouldn't give up. And again, just as his public was praying he would hang up the gloves, Ali reached down and found one more bit of strength.
The know-how. Look at that left getting in there. Spinks in the crouch. Spinks wildly mauling and clinching, but not scoring. Ali, so purposeful, so sure of himself. What an extraordinary career. What an extraordinary man he has been. Ali, the wise fighter. Ali, one of the great fighters, certainly, we have ever seen. The fight is over.
He had won the heavyweight championship for the 3rd time. It was the perfect time to quit, on one more high moment, one more note of triumph. But he couldn't do it. He just couldn't admit that it was time to go. He resigned the title, then lost another comeback attempt to Larry Holmes. He had entertained and dazzled, he had outraged and confused, he had won the world and lost it, but now it was done. He had gone to the well too often because he thought
Ladies and gentlemen, Muhammad Ali.
Muhammad, you tried to tell us for 20 years, and now I think everyone in this audience would join with me as I say you are, in fact, the greatest.
Thank you. It's been a good feeling and a good experience, and I just can't realize the time passes so quick.
It does go along, doesn't it?
We're getting older.
Yes, we are. Let's meet some of these other great athletes now, Muhammad. Mark Spitz, the swimmer who wowed the world with 7 gold medals at the 1972 Olympics. Tracy Calkins, who set 63 American swimming records, more than anyone in history. Jim Beatty, the first man to run the mile in under 4 minutes indoors. He was Wide World's first athlete of the year. Marty LaQuarrie, the #1 ranked miler in the world in 69 and 71, our expert on track and field. Jim Ryan, the former world mile record holder, Wide World of Sports Athlete of the Year in 66. Calvin Smith, world 100-meter record holder, National Sports Festival in 1983. Dan Gable, who won an Olympic wrestling gold in 72, coached the U.S. team to 7 gold. Cynthia Potter, she won 28 national diving titles. Skier Phil Mayer, 3-time World Cup overall champion, Olympic slalom gold medalist. Drag racer Dan Garlick, 2-time world champion, 30-time national champion. Julie Moss, who symbolized heart in her struggle to finish the Ironman triathlon. Kathleen McCartney, who won that triathlon with a tremendous effort of her own. Gymnast Bart Connor, who won 2 gold medals at the 1984 Olympics in Los Angeles. Kurt Thomas, the 1978 world champion in the floor exercise. Donna De Verona, 2-time Olympic swimming gold medalist, a leader in the women's sports movement. Larry Mahan, 6-time world rodeo champion. Daredevil Evel Knievel, who jumped everything but the kitchen sink on his motorcycle. Willie Mosconi, the most famous pool player in history. Minnesota Fats, another pool-playing legend. And there is Fats. Weightlifter Bruce Wilhelm, for 4 years, he held the American super heavyweight record. Bruce Wilhelm, there he is. And remember Philippe Petit, the Frenchman who amazed New York and the world when he walked on a wire strung between the towers of the World Trade Center. And then there was George Willig. He can climb anything from the Trade Center to the rock face at Angel's Landing. Jojo Starbuck and Ken Shelley, 3-time national pairs figure skating champions. They've appeared on Wide World of Sports many times. The figure skater Scotty Hamilton, 4-time world champion and Olympic gold medalist. Peggy Fleming, Wide World of Sports Athlete of the Year in 67, Olympic gold medalist and world champion. Richard Petty, King Richard, winner of 200 NASCAR races, more than anyone else in history, and 7 Daytona 500. Vinko Bogataj, the man who came to mean the agony of defeat from Yugoslavia. And Smokin' Joe Frazier, the former heavyweight champion, one of the most courageous boxers of all time. And let's end the 25 years with the man we started them with, Roone Arledge. Ago, after one of our many trips to the Alps, I was riding to the airport in Zurich, Switzerland, with a young production assistant on one of his first shows. Suddenly he said, "Why do you keep looking down every side street we pass?" I didn't know I was, but I thought about it, and I realized that's what we always do on Wide World. While traveling the main highways of sport, we look down the side streets. Sometimes we find a dead end, sometimes find something of passing interest, and sometimes we strike gold, like gymnastics or figure skating. So Wide World will continue to travel the main highways and look down those side streets in search of excellence and perhaps some wisdom. How long will it last? No one knows, because none of us have seen the year 1987 or 1990 or the year 2000. None of us know what those years have in store for Wide World or for you or for me. But at long last, we do know after 25 years that the journey will be worth the effort, and that down those side roads lie some wonderful surprises. The great athletes of the year 2000 are now somewhere between the ages of 3 and 15, but the surprises may come next week or even tomorrow. And when they do, you and I will experience them together on ABC's Wide World of Sports. I'm Jim McKay. Good night. Credits could continue for a long time. Scores of producers and directors, programming planners and administrative personnel, associate directors and production assistants, and all the people of Julie Barnaton's operations and engineering department who have worked technical miracles for us. All made their contribution to Wide World.
This 25th anniversary celebration of Wide World of Sports has been brought to you by Bud Light. Everything else is just a light. By Shearson Lehman Brothers. Minds over money. By Goodyear. You either have Goodyear Eagles or you need them. And by IBM. The way we put it all together is what sets us apart. Travel arrangements made through and a promotional fee paid by United Airlines. Now serving 13 cities throughout Asia and the Pacific. United, a fresh breeze across the Pacific. This has been a presentation of ABC Sports, recognized around the world as the leader in sports television.
One of last year's hottest rivalries continues as the New York Mets take on the St. Louis Cardinals, or Chicago meets Detroit on ABC Sunday Afternoon Baseball tomorrow.
This is a News Center 13 update.
Good evening. Coming up at 11 on News Center 13, President Reagan arrived in Honolulu today to begin a 16-day trip to the Far East. He was talking about terrorism. We'll have details. Terrorists appear to have struck again in Europe today. Bombs exploded at a British bank in Beirut and at an American Express office in France. And CBS anchor Maria Shriver married muscle man Arnold Schwarzenegger today in Massachusetts. Shriver is the niece of former President John F. Kennedy. Now this.
Little Jack Horner, get out of your corner. Get McDonald's Value Pack. But Jack be nimble, Jack be quick. When the offer ends, that's it.
I'm Ruth Bernstein. Join Doug Embledge and me for all the day's news, sports, and weather right here on News Center 13 at 11 o'clock.
13 News Update was brought to you by McDonald's.
It's draft beer to go anywhere. The Genesee Draft Ball sets up quick and easy. Delivers 55 servings of fresh draft beer. Next party, have a Genesee Draft Ball.
David Stockman, former budget director, speaks out in his Kiss and Tell book about inside the Reagan administration, next on Donahue.
Donahue, Monday morning at 9 on 13.
It has the imported flavor.
Tastes imported, but it's America's own Genesee 12-horse ale.
12-horse ale tops the imports.
More sunshine for tomorrow. We'll have your forecast at 11.